So our main character, he wakes up in a prison, and a prison made for fiends, and his underlings are there to free him because he's an archfiend. So our main character doesn't think he is this person, like the archfiend. He thinks he's somebody else. He thinks he's somebody who basically stole the body from this archfiend, and he wants to return back to his original life, a life that doesn't exist. It is just a makeup of in his mind. He thought he was some pampered young lord living a pampered young lord that loved to read novels, who went from that body to this archfiend's body, and he wants to return to his actual body. And I already was theorizing that he was the archlord, and I ended up being correct, and I was very pleased with myself that my theory was correct. Because the way the male lead was acting towards him and certain other things, that I was going, yeah, this man is the archfiend, isn't he? And he hasn't realized it. And he later does realize that he is the archfiend. And I loved how he was going around outside of his underlings telling people that he's not the archfiend, he's somebody else, that he's just a soul that stole the body. And the two people who, figures out he is actually the archfiend is like, yeah, right. Like, are you okay? Like, we're gonna keep up this lie for you, but like, you are the archfiend. And the reason why the main character probably forgot who he was because the imprisonment that he was in prison in basically breaks down your soul and your mind. So he probably been in there too long, because he was there for 25 years, longer than most people last there, because most of the time fiends and archfiends in prison there usually end up dying and disappearing. And he lasted for a long time, so he probably lost his mind slowly and slowly forgot who he was. The main character, he has chains and nails attached to him. Basically, they're there to remind him of his actions and behavior. And so the more he atones for his actions, the chains will disappear, but no one's been able to make those chains disappear and let go of them, and so he's just stuck with these chains. And again, since the main character doesn't really remember who he is, he can't really atone for his actions and behavior, so he's just stuck with them. He even asked the male lead, hey, can you get rid of them for me? And the male lead's like, nah. The male lead even attaches bells to the main character's chains. The main character and his underlings, they're obviously trying to escape this place, and while they're trying to escape, a bunch of converters from different clans are there to basically break into the place and get rid of all the fiends and archfiends that are still alive in this place, because the heavenly world has basically disappeared. There is no more celestial place. So, and the person who used to run this place, which was the male lead is the one who basically throws people into this pit and keeps it running, has supposedly perished. So obviously all of these converters want to handle all the fiends and archfiends before they escape and get back into the world. None of them ends up running into the main character, because the main character ends up running into the male lead, because they find the male lead in this, I think, pot-like thing. I'm not sure what this thing was, but he was entrapped in it. And like, the main character's underlings think this is just a puppet that the main character sooner or later gets control of, because the main character touches it and it awakens, and they're like, oh, it's a puppet that used to belong to the male lead that he controlled and puppeteered. Now it's under the main character's control. Except it's not under the main character's control, because it's actually the male lead. So they're basically trying to escape. The main character has the male lead with him now. He has all of his underlings, but something happens that causes all of his underlings except for 2 of them to die. So he only has 2 of them, and one of them is missing his arm, like one of his arms. So they escape the prison domain thingy, and the first underling is like, hey, let's return back to our territory. And the main character, who thinks he's not who he is like, yeah, no, we can't go there. But he was also told by some voice that he needed to hunt down the doctor guy. So he's like, let's go that way instead. And specifically, even though he didn't mess with the boat they were on that was supposed to be leading them to his domain, somehow they end up where the doctor was. And the doctor's part of this big fancy dancy clan who's supposed to protect this territory, but this territory is constantly being under attack and in danger, to the point most normal, regular commoners, regular mortals don't even live in this area because it's so dangerous. And there's a grudge between the main character in this clan. Supposedly the main character killed the brother, father, wife, and daughter of the doctor. Yeah, he killed all of them, supposedly. So this clan kind of has a grudge against him because the wife of the doctor was the clan leader's sister. So yes, not great graces. Supposedly, he gone there faking being a injured, sick person needing help from the doctor, and he was told that he had to wait for days or weeks, just wait until the doctor could come to him. And during the period of time he was supposedly waiting, he went around killing the clan leader's sister and in-laws and the doctor's, wife and family out of his anger, and then stole an item. And the only reason why I knew this because the doctor's apprentice was driven insane and mind sealed by the main character, supposedly. And when they checked, they broke one part of the seal because he supposedly put 2 seals on this guy. And when they broke one of the seals, they saw an image of someone who was acting like the main character. Even though they had no proof it was actually the main character, they just assumed because this dude was acting like the main character, they just assumed it was the main character. And after the main character was imprisoned, the dream bell that he stole had returned back to the clan. So again, they just all assumed that the main character did it. The main character and the male lead, they enter without his 2 underlings because his underlings can't handle it. They're horribly sick, vilely sick. So they have to enter by themselves because this place is covered head to toe in statues of a god. And this god is an ancestor of the clan they're about to enter. After they enter the city, the main character and the male lead, they put on disguises. And I get the main character because he's the archfiend and he also supposedly did this horrible crime to this clan, but I didn't believe it. I did not believe it when I was being told the story of what the main character did to this clan. I was like, yeah, he didn't do it. Especially since they had no proof that the main character actually did it. They have no actual evidence. They just, because they saw some person who was doing the same thing the main character supposedly usually do, they believed it was the main character and had no evidence to it. So I was like, yeah, this was a frame up. I have read enough dames to know when someone's getting framed. It was so obvious he was getting framed. But the male lead makes no sense to me because no one's going to recognize him because 1, everyone assumes he's dead, and 2, it wasn't like anyone knew what he looked like. Unlike the other gods, he didn't have statues and paintings and murals. He was usually non-seen. He just went to do what he needed to do and then went back to the heavens. I'm confused why he needed a disguise, but he puts on a disguise. Can someone explain why he needed one? Or was it just to be matching with the main character? I feel like it was mostly just to be matching with the main character. Once they enter the clan, the main character gets tested. Anyone who enters the clan has to get tested to make sure they're not a fiend. And the clan's members, they get tested too, twice a day. Every single day they get tested. The only people who don't get tested is the clan leader and the doctor. They're the only ones who don't get tested every single day for twice a day. Also the male lead, he doesn't get tested, but that's because they think he's a puppet. But that is very suspicious. It very made me really think that the main character wasn't involved in what happened. I think, I was starting to theorize it was either the clan leader or the doctor who did it. And they framed the main character. And then I ended up being correct. I ended up being right. It was them. They did do it. This clan, if a fiend dies on their clan grounds, they will take this fiend and bury them. And the fiends are basically vampires. They go around draining the blood out of people, and they do eat human flesh also, but it's mostly just draining the blood, I can tell. And anyone who gets bitten by the fiends are also buried with the fiends if they die, and these fiends are basically used as guard dogs. And I couldn't help but think of Grandmaster Demonic's convention when I was reading this. I was full on thinking of Wee Wing Sun controlling the dead to take care of problems. This clan is basically using the dead too to take care of their problems, just using them as personal guard dogs.